It's game day. It's Moorhead and St. Michael-Albertville. No matter the sport, football, hockey, basketball, or baseball, it's a rivalry built on integrity and good sportsmanship. It's Moorhead and St. Michael-Albertville. It's the Spuds and the Knights. This is Larry Knutson, joined now by Corey DeLorme. Corey, both of these teams are loaded with seniors and expecting big things in this upcoming season.
Well, that's right, Larry. On the St. Michael-Albertville side, you have Boston MERILA and CODY Kelly that are going Division I, playing at the University of Minnesota next year. KOLBY GARTNER is going to St. Thomas, Jordan KRUPKE to Bethel, and Drake SIENS to Gustavus. So a lot of players for the Knights going on to play collegiately. As for Moorhead, Crisanto D'Agostino, Wyatt Gunkel, Hayden Netland, SKYLAR Timmer, all committed to Concordia, and a few others are undecided.
Moorhead coach Greg Salvovold and St. Michael-Albertville's coach Paul Shum exchange lineups.
Well, I don't know about you, Larry, but it looked like Coach Shum was maybe a little upset at that exchange. I think it kind of looked like he was accusing Coach Salvovold of eating his Cracker Jacks. You know, you talk about unwritten rules in baseball, and that's certainly a big one. You know, you don't mess with somebody else's Cracker Jacks.
Longtime Moorhead Junior Legion coach Steve Timmer throws out the first pitch. Dan Brecky honors America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's go, boys.
The St. Michael-Albertville batting order has John Garris leading off and playing left field. Batting second is second baseman Boston MERILA. CODY Kelly bats third and catches. Batting in the cleanup spot is center fielder Luke Leyland. Batting fifth, pitcher Colby Gartner. Shortstop is Jordan KRUPKE batting sixth. Third baseman Ian Harkin bats seventh. In right field, Jack Carroll bats eighth. And first baseman Zach Jans bats ninth. In the field, the Spuds have Kai Holm in left, Caden Triggs in center, Hayden Netland is in right. The infield, Moorhead goes with Hudson Hodges at third, Mason Connally at short, Ryan LUTHI is at second, SKYLAR Timmer is at first, the catcher is Wyatt Gunkel, and on the mound, big right-hander Crisanto D'Agostino.
Well, D'Agostino is a very accomplished weightlifter for the Moorhead Spuds, actually a national champion in the 96-kilogram weight class, and he uses all of that training and that strength out on the baseball field.
Left fielder John Garris leads off for St. Michael-Albertville.
Yeah, Garris is really your prototypical leadoff batter. A lot of speed. He's able to identify pitches, hits to all fields. Really a weapon for the Knights at the top of that order.
An aggressive hitter, Garris goes after the first pitch and slaps it past third and into left field for a base hit.
Well, nice job by Holm there to get the ball in quickly from left field, avoiding the snow piles that are still left from this winter.
With Garris on at first, up comes second baseman Boston MERILA.
Yeah, Boston MERILA, one of the two players we talked about earlier going to the University of Minnesota. Really just a great athlete. He plays linebacker for the football team, also a very good basketball player. So the Gophers are getting a good one in Boston MERILA.
The Knights waste no time going after D'Agostino, and MERILA drives one into right field for a single.
Well, nice job by Hayden Netland out in right field. Little mini crow hop there to get the ball in quickly, holding Garris at second and MERILA to a single. Good work there by the bat boy, Drake KRUPKE, Jordan's younger brother.
That puts runners on first and second for the number 3 batter, catcher Cody Kelly. Paul Shum gives the sign.
Yeah, pretty big lead there at second base by Garris. MERILA a little more conservative over at first.
D'Agostino checks the runner, turns, and throws to second, and John Garris is caught leaning and is picked off for out number 1.
Well, we just talked about it. Garris, a pretty big lead there at second. Knights trying to be aggressive here in the first inning and get on top of the Spuds early in this one.
With a runner at first and 1 out, Kelly sends one to right center, drops for a base hit. MERILA checks in at third, and Kelly has a stand-up double.
Well, good effort there in right field by Hayden Netland. Diving out, nearly got that ball, but it gets by him, and that allows the runners to move up. And what a big pickoff play now that was at second base, as Garris with his speed would have scored easily from second on that hit.
With runners at second and third, up steps the cleanup hitter, left fielder Luke Leyland.
Yeah, Luke Leyland is another multi-sport athlete, very good hockey player for the Knights.
D'Agostino delivers in a fastball up and away for ball 1.
Well, you could see catcher Wyatt Gunkel giving a little bit of a glance back to the umpire on that one. That didn't miss by much, and Coach Kunka also wondering where that pitch was.
Gunkel drops down the sign. D'Agostino delivers, and Leyland drives one deep to left, and this one is gone. MERILA scores. Kelly scores, and Leyland has a 3-run homer, and the Knights take an early 3-0 lead over Moorhead.
Well, Leyland's not the cleanup batter for nothing. He got a pitch he could handle, and he drove it over the left field fence over the outstretched arm of Kai Holm, and it's a 3-run homer for Leyland and the Knights.
Bases have cleared as pitcher Colby Gartner goes after the first pitch for a base hit. With 1 out and a 3-0 lead for the Knights, here is shortstop Jordan KRUPKE.
Well, D'Agostino needs to remain patient here. You know, he's just given up a 3-run homer and now a single, but he's got 1 out in the inning. You need to, can't panic. Jordan KRUPKE coming up, another very good hitter for the Knights. The Knights' first base coach, Lance KRUPKE, encouraging Gartner to get a lead over there at first.
Into the stretch, D'Agostino checks the runner at first and throws. Gartner had extended his lead and was thrown out easily in his effort to get back, and there are 2 away. D'Agostino wheels and deals, and KRUPKE sends one deep to center. Caden Triggs is back, and leaps and makes the catch off the wall in deep center field. The Knights strike for 3 on a Luke Leyland 3-run homer, and after 1/2 inning of play, it's St. Michael-Albertville 3 and Moorhead nothing.
And here's how the Spuds will line up for today's game. Leading off, Caden Triggs in center field, Kai Holm in left field, Wyatt Gunkel bats third, he's the catcher. Crisanto D'Agostino is pitching, he's your cleanup hitter. Hayden Netland is in right field batting 5th. SKYLAR Timmer at first base. Mason Connolly at shortstop. Hudson Hodges bats 8th and plays third base. And at second base, Ryan LUTHI batting 9th. Defensively for St. Michael-Albertville, John Garris will be in left field, Luke Leyland in center field, Jack Carroll playing right field. On the infield, Zach Jans at first base, Boston MERILA at second base, Jordan KRUPKE plays shortstop, Ian Harkin at third base, Cody Kelly behind the plate, and Colby Gartner is the pitcher.
Moorhead went down in order in their half of the first. Triggs struck out, Holm grounded to short, and Gunkel flew out to right. D'Agostino got back on track in the second when he set down the Knights in order. Harkin and Carroll struck out, and Jans grounded out to third. The Knights' right-hander finishes his warm-ups. A strong start for Gartner today, setting down the Spuds in order in the first. Pitcher Crisanto D'Agostino will lead off, followed by right fielder Hayden Netland and first baseman SKYLAR Timmer.
Well, Gartner, they call him the Shark. He can sneak up on you.
D'Agostino, who throws right, but bats left, swings at the first offering and sends it deep to right center. Clears the fence, hits the scoreboard. D'Agostino home run, and the Spuds pull within 2. Now it's 3-1.
Well, there's the strength of D'Agostino, an absolute no-doubter.
Right fielder Hayden Netland bats 5th in the order. Gartner swings into his motion and delivers a fastball belt high, and Netland goes deep to left center. All the way it is gone. The Spuds have hit back-to-back home runs and trail now 3-2.
Well, Hayden Netland got a pitch right in his wheelhouse, and he hit it over the left field fence. Well, Larry stepped out for a quick cup of coffee. Ian Harkin over to the fence, tumbles over the fence. Good effort there. Just bounced out of his glove, and new life for Timmer. Gardner into his windup, and the pitch. Timmer hits that one up the middle, right between the legs of Gartner, and that'll get into center field. Timmer hustling all the way down, will be safe at first. Gardner looked like a fish out of water on that one.
With Timmer on first, Mason Connally steps in.
Well, Connally coming up, the sure-handed shortstop, usually hits for a high average, and the Spuds are looking to keep this rally going. They got back-to-back home runs to start the inning, and now a single by Timmer, and the Spuds threatening to tie this thing up here in the bottom of the second.
Gartner's pitch is slapped into right field. Carroll plays it cleanly and sends his throw to third. Out! Timmer is out there for the first out of the inning.
Perfectly played out in right field by Jack Carroll. I think they wanted to hit the relay on the play, but he threw right through the relay all the way to third, and Harkin was able to put on the tag, and Timmer is out. First out of the inning.
Hudson Hodges takes a look at Sauervold for the sign and stands in on the right side.
Hodges is the Frank Bremsick Award winner. That goes to the top senior goaltender in hockey in the state of Minnesota.
Gartner's changeup is driven deep and bounces off the fence.
Oh, looks like Conley might be headed home. Oh, nope. Coach Sauervold has put the stop sign on.
Hodges pulls into second with a double, and the Spuds have runners at second and third.
With only one down, the Spuds are going to be looking to LUTHI to put something in the outfield and tie this game up.
Gartner's pitch bounces to the plate and gets away. Catcher Cody Kelly tracks it down, throws to third in plenty of time to pick off Connally, and now there are 2 away.
Well, what a great alert play there by Cody Kelly. You know, a lot of catchers would be happy with just making that block, but he very alertly hopped up, gathered up the loose ball, threw it down to third, and recorded the out. Takes away that sacrifice fly option here for the Spuds.
Gartner delivers an off-speed pitch. LUTHI waits on it and sends it into left. Hodges checks in at third, and Moorhead has runners at first and third. Back to the top of the order, and Caden Triggs steps in. Triggs struck out in the first and is 0 for 1 on the day. Gartner delivers, and Triggs lines one to right. Hodges scores.
Looks like LUTHI's headed for third. They're going to test Carroll's arm again.
LUTHI checks in at third, and we are all tied 3-3. Kai Holm will bat. 0-1 on the day, grounding out to short in the first inning.
Right.
Kai Holm takes a strike there as team manager Kate Stafford uses the iPad to record the game film.
Triggs takes his lead at second. Gartner waits and throws to second in time to pick off Triggs, and that ends the inning. The Spuds rally for 3, and after 2 innings complete at St. Michael-Albertville 3 and Moorhead 3. Here comes Jack Lee on to pitch for the Spuds. D'Agostino moves on to third, and Hodges is out of the game. For the Knights in their half of the third, Garris flew out to center. MERILA walked. Kelly struck out. Leyland was walked intentionally, and with runners at first and second, Gartner lined out to third, After 2.5 innings of play, it's Moorhead 3, St. Michael-Albertville 3.
Let's rattle him, boys. Let's rattle him.
Kai Holm leads off the bottom of the third. 0-1 on the day. Holm goes after a high fastball and laces it into right. Holm, rounding first, will head to second with a stand-up double.
Yeah, Holm was left at the plate after Caden Triggs was picked off second base at the end of the last inning, so he starts off with a nice double to right field, and the Spuds have something going here in the third.
Catcher Wyatt Gunkel, 0-1 on the day, stands in. Gartner steps off the rubber and looks Holm back to second. Holm takes a second lead. Gartner turns and throws to second. Out! Picks off Holm for the first out.
Now the Spuds need to be more aware on the base paths. The Shark has a good pickoff move.
Gunkel, back in the box, swings at a belt-high fastball and goes to the opposite field for a base hit.
Now this time Carroll hits the cutoff man at second and holds Gunkel to a single here. Team manager ADDYSON STOTTS getting a different angle for that team film. It's so important for the coaches to be able to review that and give feedback to the players.
With a runner on and one out, Crisanto D'Agostino stands in. 1-for-1 on the day with a home run in the second.
Not much of a lead for Gunkel at first.
Takes a pitch out of the zone. Game tied 3-3. Gartner behind on the count.
Yeah, Gartner tried to come inside on that first pitch, just missed off the plate.
Inside, and it hits D'Agostino.
Oh, that's a shark bite right there. D'Agostino's going to feel that one.
The Spuds have runners at first and second with one out. That brings up Hayden Detland. He pops one foul, and catcher Cody Kelly tracks it down for the second out.
A tremendous play there by Cody Kelly. You know, we saw him make a great play earlier with a block and a pickoff play, and this time very quick out of his crouch and sprinting back. Had to slide to make that foul catch, but really athletic play there by the catcher.
First baseman Skylar Timmer singled in the second. Bats now with 2 aboard and 2 out. Here's the pitch. Timmer felt that one. It is gone. Gunkel scores. D'Agostino scores. And Timmer gives Moorhead a 3-run lead at 6-3.
Let's go!
Oh, it's going down. I'm yelling Timmer. He got all of that one.
Gartner stays on for St. Michael-Albertville. And here is Moorhead shortstop Mason Connally. The pitch is hit off the fence and left. Connally rounds first and is headed for second. That's good for a 7.87 on the somersault scale. The 7th batter to hit is pitcher Jack Lee, who bats in the number 8 spot, replacing Hudson Hodges in the order. Lee singles past shortstop Jordan KRUPKE into center.
A good effort there by KRUPKE, trying to dive and knock down that ball, keep it in the infield. It did. Conley again getting held up at third base though, so no run score on that base hit.
And the number 9 hitter Ryan LUTHI steps up.
LUTHI again up with runners on base, came up last inning and delivered with a hit.
Lines off the glove. Connally comes in to score. Lee checks in at third. Relay throw back to second is in time, and LUTHI is out. Center fielder Luke Leyland threw a strike to Boston Murillo, and that ends the inning. The Spuds score 4, and after 3 innings, it's Moorhead 7, St. Michael-Albertville 3. Moorhead lineup changes as we start the top of the 4th inning. Quentin Haig is at center field. Haig replacing Caden Triggs, who sprained his pinky toe when he was picked off second in the 2nd inning. St. Michael-Albertville sends Jordan KRUPKE to the plate. The pitch to KRUPKE is fouled straight back. Gunkel gives chase and runs out of room as he crashes into the fence. That brings trainer Nicole Kane out for a quick check. Gunkel shakes it off, and he'll stay in.
Well, all-out effort there by Wyatt Gunkel to try to get to that foul ball, but unfortunately, he's not Spider-Man, can't scale the fence.
KRUPKE sends one to deep left field. Over the head of Haig, all the way to the fence, and KRUPKE checks in with a double.
Well, good solid line drive double there by KRUPKE. You could see the strength there from the shortstop as Haig was playing pretty deep and still got over his head with ease, and he walks in with a double.
Here's third baseman Ian Harkin. 0 for 1 today, striking out to lead off the second. Jack Lee's pitch is driven to right.
A hard hit single there by Harkin, got in quickly by Netland, and that forced Coach Schum to hold KRUPKE there.
KRUPKE ends up at third, and the Knights have runners at the corners. Jack Carroll, also a strikeout victim in the second, now faces Jack Lee. Carroll lines one up the middle, off the glove of Lee, and into center field. Harkin has a long slide into second. KRUPKE scores. An RBI single. Carroll and the Knights pull within 3 at 7-4. Here's the number 9 hitter, Zach Jans, as he steps in 0 for 1 on the day, grounding out to third in the second inning. Jans fouls the first pitch near the first base dugout and into the neighbor's doghouse.
Yeah, right into the kennel. If the boys want that ball back, they're going to need a treehouse and an erector set.
Jans hits one hard off Connally's glove and into left center. Harkin checks in at third. Carroll stands tall at second. Jans at first, and the Knights have loaded the bases with 3 straight singles. And that brings Greg Salveville to the mound and is signaling for a pitching change. Skylar Timmer becomes the third Moorhead pitcher today. Nobody out, bases loaded, and St. Michael-Albertville sends up the top of the order. Left fielder John Garris 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout.
Tough spot for Timmer to come into here. Bases loaded, nobody out, leadoff batter coming up, trying to preserve a 3-run lead.
An open stance for Garris, and he hits one past LUTHI at second. Haig, playing a shallow center field, plays it back in and holds the Knights to 1 run. It's now 7-5, and still nobody out with the bases loaded. Second baseman Boston Murillo stands in 1 for 1 today with a single and a run scored in the first. A base hit here could tie the game. Murillo faces Timmer and hits one down the third baseline. That's a fair ball. Kai Holm over to field it. Relays it into D'Agostino at third, who relays it to Gunkel at home plate. The throw is there in plenty of time, but Zach Jans hurdles the catcher. Taps home plate for the 4th run of the inning, and we are all tied 7-7. With nobody out, Garris is now at third. Marilla is at second, and up comes Cody Kelly. Marilla takes a long walk. Coach Paul Schum, with all of those signals, the Knights must have a play on. Timmer turns. Throws to second, and Marilla is picked off.
Well, that's a big out there for the Spuds. The Knights had already come back to tie the game, and Timmer makes a quick move to second and gets the first out.
Garris is now at third as Kelly waits on Timmer. The pitch. Kelly hits one high and deep to right, but in the park. Netland tracks it down and relays it to LUTHI at second, who turns and throws a strike to third. D'Agostino puts the tag down to catch Kelly, and there are now 2 away and nobody on base. But the Knights have come back from a 4-run deficit and now lead the Spuds at 8-7. Leyland pops one foul. Gunkel hurries after it and slides to make the catch for the third out. St. Michael-Albertville scores 5, and after 3.5 innings, it's now St. Michael-Albertville 8 and Moorhead 7.
And it's 1, 2,
3 strikes, you're out.
At the old ball game.
For the bottom of the 4th, the Knights bring in Sam DRAEGER to pitch. and sets the Spuds down in order. Quentin Haig grounded to short. Kai Holmes struck out. Wyatt Gunkel struck out, and after 4 innings, it's St. Michael-Albertville 8 and Moorhead 7. To the top of the 5th, Ryan LUTHI becomes Moorhead's 4th pitcher and will face Sam DRAEGER, Drake Signs, and Jack Sander. LUTHI likes to mix his pitches with a soft curve being his out pitch. He faces St. Michael-Albertville pitcher Sam DRAEGER.
Well, important inning here for LUTHI as he comes in to try to shut down this potent offense.
DRAEGER knocks one up the middle and has a base hit to lead off the 5th inning.
DRAEGER helps himself with a base hit to start the inning.
That brings up Drake Signs, who is in for Jordan KRUPKE at short.
Signs is headed to Gustavus next year to play baseball, who's going to face off against many of these Moorhead Spuds here who have committed to Concordia, so they've got a lot of MIAC battles ahead of them.
Signs lines one off the glove of LUTHI and into center field. DRAEGER checks in at second, and the Knights have runners at first and second and nobody out. Jack Sander is the new Knights' 3rd baseman and looks to keep this rally going. DRAEGER takes his lead off second. Signs is off at first.
Another great start to the inning here for the Knights. 2 on, nobody out, and threatening already here in the 5th.
A quick throw to Jack Lee at first, and Signs is picked off.
And Jack Lee is fired up about it. As the Moorhead Bat Boys look on, Cole Salvovold and Easton Salvovold. And the Spuds have had a lot of success with their pickoffs here today. Actually, a lot of their outs coming from the pickoff.
Sander hits one to left.
A sharply hit single to Kai Holm in left field.
DRAEGER checks in at third. Runners on. First and third and 1 out. That brings up Easton Kneeling, now in right field for the Knights.
Easton Kneeling comes in for Jack Carroll, who had a busy day out in right field. Also picked up a single RBI and scored a run in the 4th inning. And LUTHI needs to be careful here with 2 on and 1 out.
LUTHI's pitch is in the dirt. Gunkel picks it up and throws to third. D'Agostino's tag is there, and there are 2 away.
Well, Gunkel mimicking what Cody Kelly's been doing behind the plate. This time, Gunkel knocks one down and throws it down to third to get the out. Well, that's a big out right there for LUTHI and the Spuds.
Sander is at first.
Not too big of a lead there for Sander. He knows he's going to need an extra base hit if he's going to come around and score.
Kneeling hits one to left. Kai Holm is there. Makes the catch for the 3rd out. And after 4.5 innings, it's St. Michael-Albertville 8 and Moorhead 7. It'll be lefty on lefty as we head into the Spuds half of the 5th inning. Sam DRAEGER will deliver. Tucker Hammer waits on the pitch. Hammer is now at third, replacing Crisanto D'Agostino.
Well, like we talked about, LUTHI needing a big inning. Sam DRAEGER needs a big inning here as well. He only needs to record 9 more outs to secure the victory for the Knights.
Hammer hits a line drive to short. Signs knocks it down. Hammer is on at first with an infield single.
Oh, Hammer, don't hurt him. Sharply hit line drive to short. Signs sacrificing his body to knock that one down.
Salvi must be skimping. We don't have any of that double bubble anymore.
Moorhead's new right fielder is Jack SCHAUB, and he'll bat in the 5th spot in the order for Netland.
Well, Coach Salvovold and the Spuds continue to work players into the lineup here early in the season. It's important to know what you've got, depth up and down the lineup, and who can come in key situations.
DRAEGER is in the stretch, the pitch, and SCHAUB has a single to right.
A good play by Kneeling in right field to keep the runners in order at first and second.
Moorhead now has runners at first and second, nobody out, and Riley KRUEGER steps to the plate. KRUEGER took over at second when LUTHI came on to pitch for the Spuds.
Trailing by a run, Coach Salvovold might have a play on here.
Hammer takes his lead at second. SCHAUB is off at first.
A great opportunity here for the Spuds. 2 on, nobody out. Opportunity to tie, if not take the lead here.
DRAEGER to the stretch. The pitch outside for a ball. SCHAUB is caught leaning, and Kelly's throw is in time to get SCHAUB. KRUEGER back in the box, and DRAEGER delivers. KRUEGER finds left field fence, a home run. A monster hit for Riley KRUEGER.
Baby.
Let's go, boys.
A huge 2-run bomb there by Riley KRUEGER, the emphatic bat toss. He knew it was gone right away, and he'll come all the way around, and now the Spuds take the lead.
And KRUEGER's 2-run homer has given the Spuds the lead, 9-8. Caden Thiel is the Spuds' new shortstop and bats 7th. DRAEGER peers over the glove and shakes off one sign and another. Before delivering, Thiel goes up the ladder to put the bat on the ball and drop it towards third. Jack Sander fields it, throws to Jans at first, but Thiel beats it out for an infield single.
A good speed there by Thiel down the line, and a well-executed bunt, kind of a lost art in today's game of baseball, but Thiel lays down the bunt and beats it out for an infield hit.
DRAEGER's pitch is hit to right, where KNEALING races over, dives, and makes the catch for the second out. Thiel stays on at first as Ryan LUTHI comes to bat. DRAEGER's pitch is fouled back. Kelly makes the catch, and the Spuds are out of the 5th. But behind KRUEGER's home run, Moorhead now has the lead, 9-8. Ryan LUTHI struck out Zach Jans to start the 6th. John Garris grounded out to second, and shortstop Boston MERILA to end the inning. Sam DRAEGER worked around a trio of walks in the inning by getting Kai home to fly out, Tucker Hammer to pop up to short, and struck out Riley KRUEGER. To the top of the 7th inning, left-hander Holden Clinert.
Holden Clinert comes in, a really strong, hard-throwing left-hander. The Spuds are hoping that he can grow into a reliever role here on the mound, and what a great situation early on in the season to come in and try to preserve a 1-run lead.
Cody Kelly looks at the first pitch for a called strike. Clinert delivers, and Kelly hits one to left. Kai Holm races over, dives, and makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, we've seen some big-time defensive plays in today's game, and there's another one by Kai Holm.
Luke Leyland, the batter, takes a chop swing.
It's a chop. Hold up. Wait a minute. It's a base hit. Well, DRAEGER can really help his cause here. Leyland was able to get on in front of him, and now he comes up with just 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Sam DRAEGER goes after Clinert's first pitch and drives one to the wall and left.
A quick recovery there by Holm. He could have a play at 2. DRAEGER's headed to second. They're going to hold Leyland at third.
DRAEGER is trying to stretch it into a double. In time for the second out. Now with Leyland at third, the Knights bring shortstop Drake Signs to the plate.
And the Spuds are 1 out away from a victory, but Luke Leyland sits there at third base. It only takes a single to tie this game.
With the game on the line, Signs sends one to deep center field. Quentin Haig finds an opening in the fence, races through, camps underneath, and makes the catch.
Oh my. Steve Timmer must have been busy thinking about his honorary first pitch, and he left the gate open in center field. The Spuds think they have won the game, but the umpires are going to have to talk about this one.
It's a home run, and St. Michael-Albertville regains the lead at 10-9.
Wow, what a clutch hit by Drake Signs, and what a controversial call here to take the lead.
Jack Sander sends one to right field.
A good piece of hitting there by Sander. Well, the Spuds, after giving up the lead, the Knights come right back, and Sander delivers a base hit, and now there's 1 on with 2 outs.
And that brings up EASTON KNEALING. KNEALING hits a blooper to left center in front of Quentin Haig. Sander is waved around third and scores. KNEALING is trying for 3. Haig throws to Hammer at third in time to get KNEALING. In the inning, St. Michael-Albertville scores 3, and as we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's St. Michael-Albertville 11 and Moorhead 9. While the Spuds were pitching by committee using 5 throwers, Paul Shum has relied on just 2 pitchers today. The Shark pitched the first 3 innings. Sam DRAEGER is on to start the 4th inning of work as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Lefty DRAEGER's pitch is thrown behind Thiel, who can't duck out of the way and is hit by the pitch, with Thiel writhing in apparent pain.
Oh yeah, right off the elbow. That's going to leave a mark.
Jack Lee stands in and drills one to the fence. Luke Leyland plays it on one hop and holds Lee to a double. Thiel tumbles and rolls in to third.
Well, Thiel was expecting a throw coming in from Leyland in center field and tried to make a slide. It doesn't always look pretty, but it was effective.
Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Spuds batting in the bottom of the 7th. Holden Clinert stands in and hits one deep to right center.
Oh, he thinks he got it. Is it a walk-off?
Kneeling plays it off the fence. Thiel scores to make it 11-10. Here comes Lee to score. And Clinert has tied the game with a 2-run double.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go Spuds!
Clinert takes his lead at second.
Well, the way Clinert reacted after hitting that ball, I think he thought that he had just ended the game, but nonetheless, he does tie it and ends up at second with a double.
The check of the runner, and DRAEGER throws to MERILA covering in time, and Clinert has picked off for the first out.
Such a good move by DRAEGER, so deceptive, really makes it hard for the runners to know if that move is going home or coming to the base.
Quentin Haig bats for the Spuds and sends one deep to left. John Garris plays it off the fence and throws to Drake Sines, who throws to MERILA, out to get Haig at second, and there are 2 away. Kai Holm stands in as the last hope for the Spuds. Holm drops it into left field, and Moorhead has a runner on as Wyatt Gunkel stands in.
Really smart piece of hitting there. Holm just dropped the bat down and slapped it into left field.
Let's go, Spuds.
He'll take his single and look to Wyatt Gunkel to bring him around.
DRAEGER's pitch, and Gunkel sends it to right center. Luke Leyland plays it back in, and the Spuds now have the winning run at third.
A great hustle right out of the box by Wyatt Gunkel. If he's not sprinting right after hitting that ball, he doesn't make it to second base. So a great effort there by Gunkel.
Now Tucker Hammer has a chance to send in the game-winning run. DRAEGER's pitch is hit to right field. EASTON kneeling is on his way. He dives. He makes the catch for the third out. It's Moorhead 11. St. Michael-Albertville 11. This game goes to extra innings.